The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is set to prosecute over 200 persons arrested for various electoral offences during the just concluded general elections. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman Rotimi Oyekami confirmed the receipt of over 50 case files while speaking to newsmen in Abuja. The Nigerian Police Force has transferred over 50 case files of electoral offences to the electoral umpire. Meanwhile, the Commission has directed its litigation and prosecution department to study the files and advise it on the prosecution. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has declared Senator Ibrahim Mohammed Bumai the winner of the keenly contested Yobe South senatorial election. Declaring the results at the FC Potiskum Collation Center, INEC returning officer Abacha Meleni said Bumai Ibrahim Mohammed of the APC satisfied the requirements of the law and is declared winner and returned elected. Bumai of the APC polled 69,596 votes to defeat Alilu Mazagin of People's Democratic Party (PDP), who got 68,885 votes. Others are Yerima Adamu of ADC, who scored 652 votes, Jaro Ishaku of Labour Party, who got 471 votes, Issa Musa of NNPP, who had 3,277 votes, and Saibu Badi of the YPP, who scored 448 votes. Reacting, Senator-elect Bumai thanked the electorates and supporters for their resilience and love. Still talking about election, massive vote buying characterized today's Ogbaru Federal Constituency supplementary election in Anambra State. Reports say 3 of the leading political parties in the election also reportedly unleashed thugs in various parts of the local government where the poll was being conducted. Findings also indicated that the leading candidates in the election and their political parties are Alpha Mogene of the Labour Party, Chuchu Onyema of the People's Democratic Party, and Arinze Awogu of the All Progressives Grand Alliance. Many voting centers visited by newsmen within the local government witnessed a huge influx of thugs amidst the massive deployment of security officials. In reaction to the outcome of the 2023 general elections, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has submitted that Nigerians have lost confidence in government. She gave the submission at the inauguration of the Transition Council of the Abia Governor-elect, Dr. Alex Oti in Haba. The WTOD regretted the political class in the country had dashed the hopes of the electorate. The WTO boards admonished that for Nigeria to regain its lost confidence among the populace, it must get a tight, better, and cleaner governance that must be transparent. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has described the recent appointment of principal officers for the University of Ilesha as part of the fulfillment of his promise to nurture sustainable tertiary institution for Joshiland. In the statement signed by the spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rasheed, Governor Adeleke reaffirmed his commitment to building a sound university, which he said informed his approval of a leading academic international repute, Professor Taiwo Ashalu, as the Vice Chancellor of the university. Similarly, Osun State government has described the allegation of sinking boreholes at the rate of 14 million naira as not only laughable but a display of ignorance by the opposition party in the state, just as Governor Ademola Adeleke delivered on projects that have direct impact on the lives of residents of Osun State. Spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rasheed, stated this while speaking with OSBC Governor Service Correspondent Abraham Adekulekun. He speaks.
News to say 14 million per ball, even without going into details. But the price across the 332 world is far below what some people are quoting. And eventually, when he says we commend the governor for managing state finance prudently and for even executing most of these projects between the usual market price. You know, when you talk about borehole, people have an average idea of what a contract for borehole will be. But people will not be surprised during Bademele when governor come up and so what he has been able to do, even below market contracting price for those boreholes. So across more than 2/3 of the wards in Mosul, people are already benefiting using this borehole water all over. And the whole essence of it is, the borehole is a stopgap measure before His Excellency will now move further into the actual issue of pipe-borne water across this, which has started.
The federal government, through the National Startup Act Secretariat and Osun State government, has held a stakeholders forum on the adoption and domestication of the Nigeria Startup Act. Record that Governor Ademola Adeleke, while receiving members of the Osun State House of Assembly in his office earlier this year, revealed plans to transmit an executive bill on the Nigeria Startup Act to the House. The governor, while receiving a draft of the act at an event by the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology to mark his 100 days in office, maintained that he is committed to taking steps that will position it strategically and improve its economy. The Nigeria Startup Act is a national policy framework that seeks to create an enabling environment for technology-enabled startups and entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Now to sports. Youth and Sports Development Minister Sunday Dare says the country's sports sector should be bracing up for a new minister. Dare disclosed this today while feeding questions on a sports radio program in Lagos. He said over 3 years and a half of his stewardship, he worked daily and ran the clock to reposition the ministry on the path of growth and sustainability. The sports minister added that he will also be remembered for some transformative initiatives like Adopt an Athlete and Adopt a Pitch programs, which have helped immensely in discovering and improving talent and rehabilitating sports infrastructure in Nigeria. And on the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron has signed into law his government's highly unpopular pension reforms, which raised the state pension age from 62 to 64. President Macron argued the reforms are essential to prevent the pension system collapsing. In March, the government used a special constitutional power to force through the changes without a vote. The Constitutional Council rejected the opposition calls for a referendum, but it also struck out some aspects of the reforms, citing legal flaws. Following the council's ruling, protesters set fires across Paris and 112 people were arrested. 12 days of demonstration have been held against reforms since January. Meanwhile, unions have vowed to continue opposing the reforms and called on workers across France to return to the streets on the 1st of May this year. And with that, we have come to the end of evening news on OSBC. Join us at 7 for the major reports. Good evening.